Baylor Coaches Show this evening. It is the first of the spring semester, and we're glad you're with us as we kick things off heading into the spring here in early January. Welcome to you wherever you're watching, listening, and we appreciate you being with us. And join me in welcoming our first guest on the show this evening, first of the spring, Coach Joey Scrivano from Baylor Women's Tennis. Joey, welcome to you. We appreciate you being here.
Well, it's great to be on. It's always good talking to you, John.
And you as well. It's always fun. You said before we went on the air, what are we going to talk about? And I said, I don't know. Whatever comes up, we can find a lot of subjects to talk about. But appreciate you being here. And this is on the eve of the start of your season or the spring portion of your schedule. You guys are going to get going again on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to be competing again. But, you know, ultimately this journey started a long time ago. We got a lot of incredible student athletes that have invested a lot. And, you know, really the majority of this team is, you know, we have some fifth-year seniors. We have some seniors. We have some players that had to redshirt. So this journey has been pretty amazing. And, you know, last season they were on such a great track, and now having that opportunity to compete again and restart what we really, you know, put together back in whenever 2019 or before that is really exciting because some special things are coming together with this group.
Do you get the feel that, you know, they really feel like, your team feels like you have unfinished business, you know, as a term a lot of teams are using. Do you feel that way, that you still have a lot to accomplish and a lot to put on the court?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, we were on a really good track last year, but ultimately, you know, this situation has actually given us more time, and you know, I think the players have an even greater level of gratitude at the opportunity to compete and play for Baylor and represent such a great university. You know, they have a really good perspective that, you know, this is a privilege, and you know, what everybody had to go through for the last 9 months has been challenging, but, you know, what makes America great is that we persevere, and that's what we're doing right now.
Man, I'd vote for you if you were running for office. That's a good campaign platform right there. And it has been 9 months, hasn't it? I mean, and it's wild to think March was when things shut down, and here we are in January of the next year.
Time flies, no doubt, for sure.
In this, do you think time flies, or, you know, in certain times it does fly, in certain times it drags? You know, it's been kind of a mix of both.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was Courtney and I. We talk about it all the time. What a blessing it was to just have time with our kids, and sometimes they were driving us absolutely crazy. But it was just so special to be home with our kids and to focus on family. But definitely when it was time to go back to work, we were really ready and excited and want to just, you know, do what we love to do. This is our calling to help young people learn and grow, and there's nothing else I'd rather do.
That's what I've heard from a lot of people, really, coaches and administrators in athletics, is it did give you more time at home. It also made you appreciate game days more, you know. Not that we took them for granted. I mean, you put everything you had into it, but now maybe you appreciate it a little bit more and don't take that for granted, that you know, it's an honor, it's a privilege to get out there and compete.
Yeah, that's definitely our perspective, and I can see that with our student athletes. They're more focused than ever, and I think they just really respect putting on that Baylor jersey even more than they did from the first day they arrived.
We're going to talk about your team, let you tell us about the team members there, but remind everybody, last year 10-2, 2-0 mark in Big 12 play. So you mentioned it. I mean, you were off to a really good start. Not to scratch off any old scabs, but what was that like when you had to, you know, just stop when everything stopped when the pandemic hit?
Yeah, it was obviously difficult, and more than anything, it's just the uncertainty that it created. You know, it was just no one really had the answers on, you know, should the student athletes go home, or is it safer to stay, and that was the biggest challenge, was just the uncertainty. But the student athletes handled it incredibly well. They were so flexible, and they were so poised in, you know, just taking on whatever was coming on their plate. So I couldn't be more proud of them, because there was just so much change going in such a short period of time that I do think it's really accelerated their growth. I think this is going to be something that's going to help this generation well beyond this year. I think they're going to be able to handle change better than most people.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, these student athletes that have gone through this year, students in general, I think, are going to, maybe had to grow up a little bit more, maybe handle things that some other students and student athletes in the past didn't have to. And that's a positive that could come out of it, is it's a growing experience.
Yeah, no doubt. Change is hard, but it's necessary. And this thing has been very unfortunate, to say the least, but I think we're doing the best we can and persevering.
All right. On the courts Saturday, a doubleheader, and you don't mind doing doubleheaders, do you? Get things going.
Yeah, there's nothing like competing, and when you can do that twice, hey, it's double the fun. So, no, doubleheaders are really great to help the student athletes develop that confidence in their physical abilities and their ability to focus for long periods of time. So whenever we have that opportunity to put a doubleheader in place, we find that our team really grows from that.
And folks are looking at the weather and saying, ooh, doubleheader in January. Wow, what's the weather going to be like? But you are indoors at the Hawkins Indoor Facility, and isn't that a blessing, to have that you can use whenever you need to, whenever there's inclement weather, or certainly this time of year when it's just plain cold.
Yeah, the Hawkins facility has been a game changer for us. It's given us an opportunity to continue the player development process no matter what the weather conditions are, and obviously, this is all about helping players grow, and if you don't have that opportunity to get on the court and do the work, then it's kind of difficult. So we're thankful every day that we have the Jim and Nell Hawkins Indoor Facility.
Yeah, amen to that. All right, let's take a break. We're off and running with Joey Scrivano, Baylor women's tennis coach, talking women's tennis to start things out this evening. Felicia Mulkey will join us the second half hour today of our Baylor Coaches Show, Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling. But back talking Baylor women's tennis, more in a moment. We're live at Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue, and we'll be right back after this. And you're back with us on the Baylor Coaches Show. Do appreciate you being with us this evening. Joey Scravano with a built-in fan section. What a group. Yeah, we need a camera to turn around and show your cheering section, which happens to be partly your team, but we appreciate everybody that is here this evening. That's nice.
It's really nice. Yeah.
And I tell you what I appreciate is live show with you here in person and folks here in person. I mean, we did coaches shows through the fall pretty much on Zoom, wow. Because we couldn't have coaches here and couldn't really ask for an audience to come in good numbers. So I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no, this is great. Yeah, I'm kind of over Zoom myself, so I understand.
And you were telling me during the break, we talked about the Hawkins indoor facility. The plan is to play both of those matches indoors on Saturday, but the weather gets nice. You might go outdoors for the second one.
Yeah, tennis is an outdoor sport, and we know that in May when it really matters, that's where the matches are going to be played. They're going to be played outdoors. So any opportunity we have to play outside, we're going to try to do it.
Gotcha. All right, very good. Check the weather, and we'll watch for that. ITA ranked Baylor number 23 in the preseason poll. I think that just came out today, so well done. Ranked in the top 25. And did you name or announce your team captains just today also?
Yeah, we actually announced them yesterday.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite an honor. Livia Kraus, Angelina Shakray-Chuk, and Ali Herrero are our captains for this year, and they were voted on by the team.
Nice.
And this is actually the first time we've done this, so it's pretty exciting. We have a lot of leadership on this team. We honestly, we could have the entire team be captains. That's the type of leadership ability we have. But ultimately, for these three young ladies to be named our captains, we're really excited, and it says a lot about what their teammates think of them. Yeah,
absolutely. Tell us about the makeup of your team. What's the team like? Young, middle, old, veterans? You mentioned some of. I don't mean old. I mean veterans. But you mentioned you do have some veterans and some experience on this team.
Yeah, we do. We have some super seniors, Angie and Jessica Hinojosa, who have been just absolutely incredible for our program. They've I think between the two of them, you can count on one hand how many matches they've missed or practices they've missed. They've just been so committed to the process from day one, and I just greatly appreciate those two young ladies. And then we have the next class, which was Livia Kraus, who's a senior, Christina Sorcolette, and they've been incredible for the program as well. And the four of those ladies are really the nucleus, of the team. They've been around for so long and have been through so much that they're a big part of why we're going to do some great things this year. And then, of course, we have our red shirts, Ali Herrero, who I mentioned is team captain, and Melanie Crevoy. And, they made such a big investment in 2019 where they came in and had to sit for a season, which is not something I recommend for anybody that's a highly competitive athlete. It's incredibly difficult, and it showed how much they're into the long term versus the short term. So they have incredible patience, and their growth has been amazing to see, and they're a big part of what we do. And that's the veteran players that you were speaking of, and but we have some real great youth as well, and the future is very bright with players like Paula Barignano and Audrey Bach-Collins, and I'm going to forget somebody, so I apologize. But who am I forgetting, girls? No, so we have Hannah Pinto and Caroline Katarski, and yeah, we have such a great team, and really a big part of this is I get way too much of the credit, and people focus on the head coach way too much, but our assistant coaches are the best in the country. We have Daniela Silva, who's one of our assistant coaches, and she came from Tennis Canada and came in as a volunteer coach, and is just doing this because she has a passion for coaching, and she's all about the process and helping young people be the best version of themselves, and you got to have a staff like that. And then, of course, I think most of our real loyal fan base know who Lenka Brusova is, and she's our associate head coach. And to have Lenka back, you and I have talked about this numerous times, but it's an absolute game changer for us. I mean, she's one of our all-time great tennis players, and her resume says that. That's what's obvious, but the non-obvious is she's just such an incredible person and such a high-character person, and I couldn't be happier with the team we have and the staff we have.
Yeah, that's great. Is Lenka here? I thought, yeah, there she is, right there in front of me. We did a Sick'em podcast, recorded with you and with Lenka, and announced her coming back. And I think that's great. I mean, you get somebody that's in the Baylor Athletic Hall of Fame and all over your record books, and you get her to come back as your associate head coach. I mean, that's you couldn't draw it up much better than that.
I've been recruiting her for a while, so the timing finally worked out, and we're all better for it. Yeah.
Very good. All right, tell us about the preseason poll for the Big 12 was announced earlier this week. Y'all were picked third in the preseason poll, and not far down, not far off first or second. You received one first place vote. That's really high thinking about your program going into the season.
Yeah, if you evaluate our team just strictly on results, that makes sense. That's where we would fall. But there's a reason we play these matches out, and we play the season out because these matches are not won on paper. They're won through blood, sweat, and tears on the court. And I like the direction that this team's going. I feel very confident that this team's going to leave a very strong legacy behind.
Good. And what's the schedule look like this year? Is it like years past, or how different is it? I mean, given the COVID protocols and things like that.
Yeah, so obviously with COVID, it's changed. We're not traveling as much as we would in years past, but at the same time, we have an incredibly challenging schedule, and what helps that is just the Big 12 is so strong. So we're playing some of the Big 12 teams twice, and then schools like Texas A&M that are so close by and who we have a rivalry with, we've picked up those type of matches as well. So the combination of the Big 12, some regional opponents that are really strong, are going to help our schedule be as strong as really any other year.
I gotcha. So travel a little bit less, or try to travel a little bit less, is one of the main things.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. And doing this for over 2 decades,
right.
I've seen my fair share of hotel rooms and airports, and I'm okay with getting in a bus, and that's fine.
Very nice. Yep. Bus trip makes it a lot easier, a lot simpler. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. You're tuned in to the Baylor Coaches Show. We are live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Thanks to our hosts here at Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. And we'll be back with Coach Joey Scrivano about talking Baylor women's tennis right after this. Back with us on our Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's. Do appreciate everyone being with us this evening, our first show of the new semester, and welcome to everyone. Joey Scrivano is our guest, Baylor women's tennis coach. And Joey, each week we have the Academy Sports and Outdoors question of the week. So let's go to that question right now.
Hey, Coach. What are you most proud of with how your team has faced the adversity of the past year?
Yeah, it's a great question. Really, we've just tried to put things in perspective and have a real optimistic outlook. I think athletes are wired in a way to handle adversity. They have to adapt to a lot of different situations on the court, and especially in a sport like tennis. The reason I fell in love with tennis is it's incredibly hard. There's this one-on-one component to it, and it's a physical game of chess, pretty much. And so these young ladies have to really battle through a lot of mental traps. They physically have to really overcome so much. And so they're really prepared. Like I said, they're wired in a way to handle adversity. And so it's not like we had to do anything really special other than just continue to care for them and just, give them an outlet to have a way to vent if they needed to vent, or a shoulder to cry on, or just you put your arm around them. And I don't think there's another university in the country that does a better job of that than Baylor University. And I'm really proud of our coaching staff. I think we've done a great job with that, of just making sure our student athletes are well taken care of.
Yeah. All right. Very good. That's our Academy Sports and Outdoors question of the week. Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods and outdoor retailer of the Big 12 Conference. Got another question from our audience. This is our First Place Foods Ask the Coach. First Place Foods is Hunn's Private Stock Pickles. That's a darn good pickle. And the question is from Roy Evans, right back there in the center. And Roy says, have you ever had a team with so many athletes, and how do you make it work? Just the number, I guess, on your roster.
Yeah, first off, Roy, it's great seeing you, and I expect you to give me a discount at the bookstore next time I come in, okay? So
Put you on the spot, Roy.
Yeah. But, Roy's such a great fan, him and his family, and they love Baylor, and they just support all the programs. So just a really appreciative, Roy, of all your support. So thank you. To answer your question, this is a great problem to have. To actually have so much depth and so many great players, that's something that a tennis coach dreams of. And I think in sports like football and basketball, they probably take that for granted. But in our sport, every single day we're just so excited that we have the ability to have options on any given day. And I'm already seeing that it's making our team much stronger. Just the depth and the competitiveness. It's really helped.
Very good. All right, good question. Thanks very much. And that's our First Place Foods Ask the Coach question, our first of the night, thanks to First Place Foods and Hunn's Private Stock Pickles. Let me ask you about a couple of others. You named most of your team, but a couple of newcomers I wanted to ask you about. Sarah Ziodato is new to the program. And then Isabella Harbison arrived, I think, just today, right? A transfer from Alabama. Yeah. So tell us about those newcomers.
Yeah, well Sarah is just an incredible young lady. She comes from Italy. So just like any great Italian, she the first thing that she gave me was two big chunks of Parmesan cheese.
Oh, how about that?
I don't know if there was a better. She knew how to get to my heart from day one. So no, but Sarah is just such an incredible young lady. She is so coachable. And she's handled this transition to coming in January and having to quarantine and all these other things that these international kids have to go through. She's handled it so graciously, and we're so excited to have her as a part of our team, and she has such a bright future. Sarah, I can't say enough good things about her. And then Isabella, you mentioned, she just arrived today. She's probably running around campus right now trying to figure out where her dorm room is and getting her class schedule. So Isabella was obviously a great addition. She's had a lot of success her freshman year at Alabama, but we're real thankful to have her as a part of the Baylor Bears.
Now, she has to sit out, right? I mean, there are some sports where transfers were eligible immediately this year, but Isabella would have to sit out to gain her eligibility.
Yeah, so Isabella's in a unique situation because she transferred because of an accreditation in regards to her degree.
Okay.
So Baylor has an accredited degree in public health, and unfortunately at her prior institution they didn't have that degree.
Oh.
So there's a possibility that she'll be eligible. We feel confident that under the circumstances she would be eligible, but at the moment, no, we're going to have to wait and see.
Gotcha. All right, very good. All right, tell me about the gold jerseys you're going to have this year. Football has the single-digit numbers. Guys earn that. They're voted on by their teammates and coaches, and toughest 10 guys on the team get those single digits. You've got a gold jersey you're instituting.
Yeah, so this is something that the team really was excited about, and we have just so much admiration for the way that football does that in the single digits. I think it's just a great concept, and that's something that our team wanted to adopt. So when you see one of our student athletes in a gold jersey, that means that week leading up to that match, they really earn that privilege of wearing gold. So we're removing gold from our practice gear and pretty much all our other uniforms, and we're just saving that for those special student athletes that earn it.
Very cool. That's great motivation. Is it limited to just one per week, or could it be more than one?
No, yeah, it could be the entire team.
Okay.
Okay. So it doesn't matter if you're a scholarship student athlete or a walk-on. If you put the team first and do what is necessary and really make culture a priority, then you'll earn that jersey.
Nice. That's very good. That's a great idea. Good motivation. Who's going to get the gold jersey first? Okay. I thought everybody'd shoot their hands up. Yeah, they did eventually. So that is great motivation, and that'll be fun. Does that start this week? Does that start on Saturday?
So because we just rolled it out, we're going to let the athletes have some time to get used to that idea.
I got you.
But I think we're going to play Texas in about a week.
Yeah.
In Austin, so that'll be the first opportunity.
Nice. Very good. Yeah. Very good. All right. So that was my next question for you. Prairie View A&M, a doubleheader this Saturday, 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Those still the times for Saturday?
Absolutely.
And then going to Austin next weekend. And is that just you and UT, or is that there's some other schools there?
Yeah, so that event is a part of the ITA National Indoor Kickoff. Okay. So there's 4 teams there, obviously Baylor, Texas, LSU, and Arizona State. So the winner of that Final 4 basically will move on to the National Indoor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is where this year?
It's in Stillwater.
Oh, Stillwater, not too far away.
Nope, not too far.
Good. Very good. All right, well, good luck getting things started again here in the spring, and good luck on Saturday, and hope you get one of those indoors, and hope you do get outdoors for the second one. That'd be great. And we appreciate you being here tonight with us. Good luck the entire season.
Yeah, thanks a lot, John.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Joey Scrivano, Baylor women's tennis coach, and again, they open on Saturday, 2 matches against Prairie View A&M, 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. The men's tennis team, by the way, opens with a doubleheader coming up tomorrow here in Waco as well. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll switch gears. Let's check in on acrobatics and tumbling. Felicia Mulkey will join us. Baylor acrobatics and tumbling coach. We'll have that when we come back on the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. Thanks to Shay and Sarah and the entire staff here at Rudy's for hosting us, and we'll be right back after this. And back with us on our Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. And we are going to switch gears now as we welcome in Coach Felicia Mulkey, the highly successful coach of Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling. And Coach Fee, welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, John.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. We could have put up on the billboard outside, Coach comes here, Coach Mulkey. It would have been a lot of people come to hear you.
They would. And
if
it would just be a toss-up to see which one it was.
Both very successful. Coach Mulkey's here at Baylor. I do appreciate you coming and being here in person. I know you've been very careful in trying to go by all the protocols and maybe even above and beyond that. Mm-hmm. What's that been like for you?
Not fun. I like to be out and about, so this was great. I was welcome. When you asked, I was like, yes, get me out of the house. So this is good.
That's good. And everybody in your family, everybody's good? Everybody's healthy?
We are good. It's just myself and my husband here in Waco, and it's just we haven't gone anywhere, haven't really traveled. So
that's
we're doing
it.
Well,
that's the way to do it. What about your team? Do you have everybody back now? I mean, back on campus, and what are you doing right now?
We're back. We've been back. This is our second week, and so just kind of knocking the rust off, doing a little stretching and practicing, and then they got in the weight room this week, so they're going to be good and sore.
And you said even right now they're in the weight room right now.
Right now.
So what's that when you do weight training for your sport, for acrobatics and tumbling? I'm guessing it's core strength is maybe the most important thing, or just overall, or what would you focus on?
There, I would say one of the strongest teams on campus overall. And they do a lot of Olympic lifts, and you would be surprised. It's a lot more than body weight.
Interesting. So that's a continuing process, isn't it?
Yeah.
To keep that up and to get stronger every time.
Yeah, our strength coach is amazing, and it's fun to watch them grow, not just through the year, but over the 4 years. And we actually have a couple of former student athletes who are Olympic weightlifters now. So yeah.
That's very good. I hesitate to bring this up. I don't want to rehash old things, but y'all were in the middle of your season last year, when it got canceled. I mean, everything just stopped when the pandemic hit. Y'all were actually away from each other, right? Wasn't it over spring break and a rare break? What was that like?
It was, since I've been at Baylor, we have not had a spring break. We usually travel during the entire spring break, so usually together. And last year we had this unusual gift to just have a meet right at the beginning of spring break, and they had 4 whole days off. So we finished the meet in South Carolina, and we were looking forward to getting together on Sunday, and then we never came back. So it was not easy, and we were on a great trajectory too with the team. So it was hard to stop at that point.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, you were really, like you said, an upward trajectory, and the team was competing really, really well. Just a shame you didn't have a chance to finish it out last year.
Right, and I think the way that it's played in our favor is now they're hungry. So I was impressed with what they were able to do in the fall. They came in and got after it, and even just this past week, and the little bit that we're doing in practice, you can tell they're ready to go.
Boy, that's good.
Yeah.
And everybody, what's your roster? Is the roster larger this year than years past?
It's 47, so it's a couple of more.
Okay.
I think we're just a little bit older.
Okay.
So last year we were mostly, I think 2/3 were freshmen and sophomores. So that was a fall.
Yeah.
That was a fall that last year. But this is, we have a little bit under our belt now.
Gotcha. And do you have a particular, is there a theme for this year or anything, that you're using to, I don't know, to galvanize the entire team this year?
I think that's kind of organic, so it'll happen, and it'll probably happen within this month or the next couple of months as they continue to bond. But, I mean, my theme is let's just finish. Let's just get through the entire season this year.
Right. Where are the national championships this year?
Well, they're set to be in Oregon.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if there's some changes being made, so I'm not sure if that's one of the changes. You know how scheduling is changing just depending on which school and which conference can compete.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the championship will look like. As of right now, they're at Oregon.
Okay. Are you hearing some schools, are backing off or maybe not going to compete?
It really isn't coming down to the team or the particular school. It's more of the conference and then what's going on in their region.
I gotcha. In the Pac-12, I mean, that area, the West Coast, I mean, they have been hit hard. So we could step up and say, hey, we'll host here.
I'll tell everybody back at work that you said that.
Yeah, exactly. Easy for me to say, right?
Right.
But it is fun when you host the national championships.
It's amazing.
Here.
And
It
no
really
one
is
does it
good.
like Baylor. We have the best fans.
That's
It's
right.
so much fun.
That's exactly right. Do you, I think folks know that you came here from Oregon and had great success there and have followed that with even greater success here. When you go back to Oregon to compete, do you still, I mean, I know you're Baylor through and through, but you have some history there also.
I do. But for me, when I go back to Oregon, it's just fun to win. It's when
Yeah.
I go. And it has great, if you've ever been to Oregon, they have great food. So that's one of the things we look forward to when we go compete up there is where can we go eat?
Right. That's top of the list. I would think so. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want you to give us an update on the sport in general, you know, the growth of the sport. It continues to grow, emerging sport status now, which is great. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Coach Felicia Mulkey is with us, Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling Coach on the Baylor Coaches Show. We are live at Rudy's, and we'll return in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And back with us on our Baylor Coaches Show, I want to give you the Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics health tip for the week. Texans unify, persevere, overcome, and rise together. If you have questions about the coronavirus, Baylor Scott and White Health has answers. Find free resources at bswhealth.com/COVID-19. That's thanks to our friends from Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine, and Orthopedics. And we're back with Felicia Mulkey, Baylor's acrobatics and tumbling head coach. Sport continues to grow. I think folks know you wear a lot of hats. You're the coach here, but you're also a real promoter of the sport. And in fact, what's your title with the NCATA?
The Director of Expansion.
Yeah, Director of Expansion. So you look for every opportunity to promote the sport and get new schools involved. And how's that process going?
It's going really well. So we are at 34 NCAA schools, 2 NAIA schools, total for 36, obviously. And when we get to 40, we'll be able to move forward into championship status, which is just like another box to check off. So we're well on our way. We've added 4 new schools during a global pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, when a lot of places, a lot of businesses, probably a lot of schools are looking for ways to cut, you've added 4 schools during that time.
We have, and we have a lot of interest. So I think we're going to be, I always say this to you, but I think we're going to be sitting here very soon talking about 40 schools, 50 schools,
Yeah.
other Big 12 schools, I hope, you
Yeah.
know, SEC schools. So what Baylor's doing is really setting the standard and pushing it forward. So thank you for always doing this and talking about the sport. I appreciate you.
No, it's great, and I appreciate your enthusiasm for that. All right, it's just you and I talking here. What other Big 12 schools might be interested?
I don't know.
Any interest at all?
I don't know. I actually really don't know if Big 12 schools are interested. I have spoken to the SWAs
Okay.
at all of the schools and have done a presentation to all of them. So it's out there. So
Bring them to a meet. Let
I
them see a
know.
meet
I
here,
know.
and that'll get them hooked, you know?
Yeah.
That would be great. But continuing to grow, emerging sports status, explain to everybody exactly what that means to you.
So for 12 years, we've been working on getting emerging sports status. It included a proposal to the NCAA, and I can't tell you how many pieces of that proposal went into it. And after 12 years, we were granted emerging sports status. We were added to the list officially August the 1st, 2020. And what does that mean? We were a sport before that, but as of August 1st, 2020, the NCAA put their stamp on us, and we are now an official NCAA emerging sport. We're the only only NCAA sport to be created other than football at the collegiate level, and the only sport to be created by women for women.
Wow.
So it's all about women empowerment and opportunities for women at the collegiate level.
Wow, that's great. That is terrific. And I know that was a red letter day for you when you got the official word that you were emerging sports status.
Yeah, it was. We had a little bit of time to celebrate during the pandemic, actually.
Right. Too much time to celebrate. But then the next step would be getting to 40 schools, and then the NCAA, you know, you're under their auspices, and they run the championship and everything.
Yep, and we're well on our way to that. I know it's ambitious, but I think we're going to be there really soon. And if we can add 4 during a pandemic, if we can get our arms around the pandemic, I think you're going to see a lot of schools start to add. Because I think every school's in a different place, and they have to figure out where they are and what they need and how they can do it. So I know the interest is out there. It's just a matter of being able to add the sport.
And is there a particular time of year when that is more likely to happen? I mean, is it going to happen over the summer or hard to predict?
It really is hard to predict.
Yeah.
I was floored that we added 4 in the spring when we did. And I did get got word that we were going to add a couple of more right before Christmas. Like, I thought they were going to announce literally the Monday before Christmas. So they ended up not doing that, which I think is probably a good thing.
Okay.
We can wait a little bit and get a better news cycle. So I think you're going to see a few more add within the next month or so.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
2 are sitting out there right now.
Right.
All right, very good. Hey, we've got a question from the audience. You want to handle this?
Okay.
This is from Aaron Smith. Where's Aaron? Are they still here? Right back there? They're from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And they came to hear you tonight here.
Cool. Hello.
But we're glad y'all are here in Waco. And the question is, what's the number one goal you would like to accomplish this season, and how will you get there?
Well, always we want to win the championship. I mean, that's obvious. But I think this year really for us is making it through the year, getting to the finish line, and doing it safely, everybody being healthy, and then the athletes at the end of the year turning around and going, I want to do it all over again, which sounds cheesy, but after you get shut down in the middle of the year, you start looking at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So, of course, we want to win it all, but I really would like to finish and let those girls have something to hang their hat on at the end.
Very good. And you're talking to the lady here that's coached Baylor to 6.
I think it's 5.
5 consecutive national championships, and it would have been 6 last year, except this coronavirus got in the way and ended the season early.
I would like to think that.
Yes, that's our story. But 5 straight national championships here. So you folks keep an eye out for acrobatics and tumbling, and you'll appreciate the way the athleticism of these student athletes and the way they work together, and it is second to none. All right, that's First Place Foods Ask the Coach question. It's brought to you by First Place Foods and Hunn's Private Stock Pickles. What does your schedule look like? How different or how similar is it to years past?
Well, right now, it's a little different, and it's still kind of in flux as schools still figure out what they're doing. So I know that we'll have a home meet on February the 19th and another home meet on April the 10th, and we're confirming that one in March.
Okay.
So we might have a few less meets this year, and I think the NCAA is allowing less meets, as far as sports sponsorship. But we're trying still for 3 home meets. Everybody wants to come to Baylor.
Yeah.
They want to experience the
Absolutely.
Sparrow Center.
We
so-
want them to come to Baylor.
That's right.
That's good. Are you trying to reduce travel, shorter trips, closer? I mean, it's a little harder for you to just pick some school, that's
Right.
within driving distance.
Well, kind of. We have kind of a deal with Quinnipiac. They'll come here one year.
Okay.
We'll go to them one year. Well, this is our year to go to them.
Okay.
So if we can.
That's not a short trip.
Exactly. And they're also in a region where,
Right.
it's just different, right?
Right.
So we're supposed to go there, and then we're going to fly to Oregon. And then we're just trying to be smart and and keep our athletes, give them the opportunity to compete, but also keep them safe and healthy if we can.
Good.
So, yeah.
What about UMHB right down the road?
They are coming here
All
on
right.
February the 19th.
February 19th.
Yeah,
All right,
they're
very
coming
good.
here.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to see that. That
Yeah.
is great. You have to be proud of your coaching tree. Your student athletes
Mm-hmm.
who have competed under you and then coached with you and then moved on to start programs. That is really impressive.
Yep, and Courtney Pate, but it's not Pate anymore.
Right,
She just got
married.
married.
Yeah.
Courtney Oates is the head coach at UMHB, one of my former athletes, and I heart her. And she was, if she's watching, you look like a fairy princess in your wedding dress.
Oh, that's nice.
And then Elise Manning, who just graduated, she is assisting Courtney.
Oh,
down
really? I
at
didn't know
UMHB.
that.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So how many of your former, how wide are those branches?
They're pretty wide.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number
Right.
now, but there are quite a few Baylor Bears out there coaching.
That's neat. That's great. You got to be proud of that.
I am very proud.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. This is the Baylor Coaches Show. We're live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Marcel's back there cutting the meat, and folks are here at Rudy's, and we appreciate our hosts and hostesses at Rudy's. Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue, and we'll be right back with Coach Felicia Mulkey on the Baylor Coaches Show right after this. This our Coaches Show live from Rudy's this evening. Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. Let you know our next Coaches Show 2 weeks from tonight. So hope you can join us then. And we do appreciate Coach Felicia Mulkey being with us this evening. Acrobatics and tumbling, preceded by Baylor women's tennis. And Joey Scrivano was with us to start off the show this evening. Thanks to everyone for being here. Your team, we talked about you've got a more veteran team this year than you had maybe last year, maybe the last couple of years. You had a lot of youngsters the last couple of years.
Last year, 2/3 of our team were sophomore and freshmen. And that was
2/3.
Yeah, we had lost that last year. We lost that Kaylee Adams and that class that really came up through really strong. And so those sophomores didn't really have to do a lot as a freshman. So it was the talent was there. They just had to step up and step in up to the plate. So that was my last fall, and it was
Right.
an interesting fall. No coronavirus, but it was still interesting. But man, the way they turned it around. So
Yeah.
they've done fantastic.
Tell us again, where do you recruit? Where do you find, acrobatics and tumbling student athletes?
So we recruit from a wide variety of disciplines, all gymnastics disciplines. And what people think about that, they think the Olympics. But gymnastics has so many different disciplines, trampoline and tumbling, acrobatic gymnastics, power tumbling. So all of those disciplines, and then also competitive cheer. So these women are coming in from all different parts of the country, all different sport backgrounds, but they have the same skill set, come in and make this fantastic team.
Very good. Are there? Do you feel unified? Like in some parts of the country, maybe there's a competitive cheer team. If you could get everybody under one umbrella, whatever you call it, if you can call it acrobatics and tumbling, wouldn't that add some schools to your numbers right there?
The way we think about it is that cheerleading is already there and is already a great opportunity. So this was a new opportunity for women who were not interested in doing that. They had the skill set, but this was a niche. This was something right in between cheer and gymnastics where they had this opportunity they didn't have before. So I prefer to leave cheerleading where it is and allow that opportunity and allow those young women and men, because there's co-ed cheer teams, to enjoy their what they bring to college. They're on the front porch. I mean, our Spirit program is amazing.
Right.
I mean, they're on the front porch of our university, and they're busier than any team on our campus. So I prefer to leave that opportunity there, and then acrobatics and tumbling be a separate one so that we can open up some new positions.
Yeah, that's a good answer. You've been asked that question before. You have a very good answer.
No, you caught me off guard. No one's actually asked me that out loud, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you handled it very well. And it's fun to see the growth of the sport overall, and your team is just fantastic. And, when we get to host the Nationals, that is just the coup de grace when we get the best teams in the country that are here. And like you said earlier, Baylor does such a great job in hosting. Tell everybody not to demean any other school, but Baylor just does it bigger and better than other schools.
It's just the way we do things. It's our standard. So it's fantastic. And I think everybody would admit they'd want to come back to Baylor, but we keep winning. So they're like, maybe we shouldn't keep going back there.
Right.
But our staff is amazing. So I know if we asked them, they would say yes. But I mean, they have so much on their plate.
That's true. They do. Are we in a rotation? Like, would you host the Nationals next year or 2 years down the road? Or
well, schools can put a bid in to the national organization to host it. So we could do that again if we wanted to. And we're so centrally located in the middle of the country. Yeah. It's a great place.
Makes
to
a lot
it.
of sense.
It is.
You're governed by the NCATA. When you get, I'm not going to say if, but when you get to NCAA status, what happens to the NCATA?
The NCATA will still be a coaches organization, and when the NCAA oversees and becomes a championship sport, they will manage the championship, and let's say by then we'll have, 60, 70, 80 teams. They're only going to take 4 or 8 teams to the championship. The NCATA may run a separate championship at that point. And all of that would be for the opportunities, competitive opportunities for the student athletes. So that's kind of where we see it going. We don't know what the NCAA will do specifically as far as the championship goes, but we know there will be a lot of other student athletes out there that we can still help and service and take care of. So you kind of see that with college women's gymnastics. There's the NCAA championship, and there's a separate championship.
Oh, okay.
So I think that will probably be the NCATA's role, along with being a coaches organization.
Well, and that's what you want. I mean, you want to provide opportunities. You don't want to limit those opportunities, do you?
Right. Yeah, no, everything that we can do to create those.
Okay. Final thought, when do you start? Is February 19th your first
February the
meet?
19th will be our first meet.
Okay, and that's at home versus UMHB.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's at 6, but you can update everybody in some way.
That's a Friday, right?
It
on
is.
The 19th of February. So we look forward to that, and we appreciate you being with us tonight, and best of luck this season. Hope you and everybody stays healthy and have a great season. Can't wait to see you all out there.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for being here. Felicia Mulkey, Baylor's acrobatics and tumbling head coach, with us this evening. February 19th, their season opener at home against UMHB. Let's take a break. We'll be back and wrap things up in just a moment on this week's Baylor Coaches Show. 5, 4. And back with just enough time to wrap things up on tonight's Baylor Coaches Show. Do appreciate everyone that is tuned in, however you're listening or watching this evening. Again, our next show will be in 2 weeks. It'll be January 28th. We'll be right back here at Rudy's. And thanks again to our hosts at Rudy's. Great to come here. Thanks to Shay and Sarah and Marcel's back there. Thanks to everyone here at Rudy's hosting our Baylor Coaches Show. Here's a look at upcoming events on the horizon in Baylor athletics. We talked about women's tennis, and that has changed since I sent that schedule. It is now a doubleheader against Prairie View A&M on Saturday. Baylor versus Prairie View A&M, a couple of matches. On Saturday also, Baylor men's basketball, number 2 in the nation, is headed to Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. That is 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon from the South Plains. Women's basketball, number 6 in the nation, hosting Iowa State, 7 o'clock in the Farrell Center on Saturday. The women have not played in 2 weeks. They have not been on the court in game action since January 2nd. So thanks for being with us. That's our show, and good night from Rudy's.